we are. We have Austria versus Flo from Wroclaw in Poland. And I am El Shak, and I'm being joined temporarily, but still greatly appreciated by Benji.
A little bit of Eastern European flavour in this matchup. Austria drawing first blood in this game against the Poles. Flo from Wroclaw making a bit of a name for themselves on the European stage. Obviously, EUCF last year was held in Wrocław, Poland, and there was a big support there for the home team. They played a scorching sudden death game against Glasgow that I remember streaming in the Olympic Stadium in Wrocław. That was quite an atmosphere and was one thing I'll never forget. Both of these teams fighting their way to get into the top bracket. Flo currently 8th in the Swiss draw and Austria 9th, so almost a pre-quarter. A loss here doesn't necessarily knock you out of the bracket, but is pretty damaging.
That's right, so it should be an exciting match here. And oh, Benji, you've changed.
I seem to have suddenly gotten taller, more handsome, and exuding a certain type of gravitas that before was rather absent.
Is there someone behind Lorcan?
Well, behind Lorcan there's a great woman, as there always is in that woman. El Shak, how are you getting on? What did I miss?
A point.
A singular point that Austria scored, starting off on defense, getting a break. As Benji was talking about right now, sort of pre-quarters happening on the stream, on both of our streams right now, available on YouTube for free as well as Facebook. As we see Flo out of Wrocław trying to work their way against this Austrian zone. Austrian mixed opening 2, redeem some of the nation's pride after Austrian Open fell to Condors just before the game on this very pitch. Is now Flo trying to fight their way through, gets a hand to it, but it bounces off. Milan with the disc. And they're taking their time, trying to go through the cup every pass, not looking to throw around it too much.
No, these big floaty passes though are a bit dangerous because the wind is there. And as you can see, they almost got intercepted early on.
Brzezinska is doing a lot of difficult work in the middle of that cup, taking those floaty passes. Now they have the chance to pull. They go for a huge one all the way around, wonderfully weighted and waiting for it on the other end. Nedzi has the opportunity to go for the end zone, and she takes it. Surizville was there, tries to toe the line. They're going to call her out of bounds.
Yeah.
Seems to be agreement.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Even their own teammates are saying, out of bounds. We know you were hoping for something more.
So Austria now deep at the opposite end of the field to where they want to be. Really pinned in tight on that corner. Great pressure on defense. Back in Callahan territory.
Flo doing a really good job. So Austria trying to book it out of there with a big shot, but it drifts over the sideline and doesn't come back.
Yeah, didn't gain much space because it never came back in on that throw.
So now Flo with another chance at an offense. They are struggling. They've had 3 looks so far. They gave up a break. Austria were able to punch it in that time, not so much. But we've seen national sides do both well and quite poorly so far at Windmill.
That's right.
A lot of teams testing themselves out before European Championships later this season.
It's a good time to try some new strategies against good quality teams.
Flo certainly establishing themselves as being of that caliber in the last few seasons. Lamb with the disc. Has a break available, eventually able to squeeze it through and hit Nedzi. But there she goes for one pass too many. Gets blocked. It's Hackmeyer coming in and stopping it. And now Austria with another chance to get the break. A beautiful inside, all the way into the middle. Deep shot available, decides against it. Instead they cycle it back. They're taking their time here, Austria, not really forcing anything.
Yeah, been called quite a while ago, I think, apparently.
Just a hard running downfield, trying to get free. Deep cut available. This is good defense from Flo. Not making it easy by any means for Austria. They go for a deep shot. Nobody there except for Kratlinski. Just lets it go past her into the dirt. So Austria maybe getting a bit trigger happy. Just forcing a throw that wasn't really available for them. Flo do need to adjust their offensive strategy if they want to play get through this zone. Pops over the top were risky, but did work to a small extent. That one all the way through the middle. An absolute laser. Cutting through the defense. So now Milan tries to throw, it gets fouled. Is that Stozel coming in and fouling Milan as he came over? Just a bit of discussion.
Yeah, I thought it's a very fine line between a very good D and a little gentle foul.
A line that Stozel seemed to step across on that play. Milan getting into trouble, but quickly relieved. It's Flo still trying to get there. Urbanic just able to get that away. Milan running through again. They're not really doing a lot to get the spaces there, throwing into them instead. Suesville gets it across, and this is much better from Flo. Isolated cutter in the end zone, but shut down.
Oh, she's so free now, but now she's going.
Urbanic to Milan. Milan's right in the front, goes for the quick scuba. Despite the defensive pressure, Kretzinska stays strong, collects the disc.
Impressive point there from both sides, really. Austria did really well defensively.
They had their chances, but they couldn't capitalize.
No, the Polish team just polished it off then.
So 1-1. Polish team calling for 4 women. They think they can take them. They're going with their long, athletic, defensive bodies. The first time you will see the Flo D-line. Here we see their O-line taking its time. Milan just takes a nice scoop over the top. Brzezinska. A lot of defensive pressure coming through on the Austrian side. I believe it was Frengel coming across to try and get that block. The Austrian zone was quite effective. Flo, though, starting to take a few risks. Milan shooting through it a few times. Urbanic as well. But they paid off for them. So Flo find themselves in a comparable position to Austria, but in the club side, trying to establish themselves, trying to build a reputation. They have been improving over the last few seasons, along with Polish mixed ultimate. So now we see Austria, just getting that one off. Plenty of space downfield. For the game, I'll speak with the team. There's the big athletic play, though. That's what Flo wanted. Zakowska was the one who got the block. Now they're coming back. Bindis, big hammer. Collected down the other end by Blach. And they're building themselves a bit of a lead, 2-1. Bindis known for taking on the more adventurous throws. The powerhouse in that department.
I'm not blessed with a huge amount of height myself, and I'm aware of that, but there are some very tall players out there compared to the average.
Flo does have its fair share of lengthy defenders. As here we see that setup again. Gets it to Bindis in the middle of the pitch, and that much space, that much time. He'll put it on a dive. Proc collects it on the other end. Very athletic team. Quite a young team, this Flo side as well. Looking to impress. This is effectively a pre-quarter. Flo need to win in order to secure their place in the top 8. They are just hanging on by a thread right now. So Glasgow taking on Smog on the opposite pitch. Glasgow ranked 10th, Smog ranked 7th. And then Austria in 9th. So plenty to play for in this game, as both teams decide to go for a timeout.
That was an unusual time to call the timeout.
It was rather late. But
about to pull the disc.
You might as well take your opportunities while you have them. Remember, the games are shortened, only 55 minutes. So they do not have as much time. You go down, you want to address it quickly. You can't afford to try and work your way out of that hole.
That's right.
So who's impressed you more so far in this game? There have been turns, there have been breaks.
I think flow at the moment. But I did like the Austrian zone D. That was working well. So now, you know, it's too early, and I think I've said enough to hedge my bets. So whoever wins, I'll have back them.
We haven't seen much from the Austrian O-line. Talking to them before the game, they were saying, like, we have our system. We've made a couple of execution errors. The throws haven't been great choices. But we know what we're supposed to be doing, and I think we saw evidence of that. They were doing a great job of creating space, not quite able to hit their targets in it. But certainly they did have targets available, so I think Austria have plenty more to show. They could just get the throws dialed in a little bit more.
Yeah, those execution errors can be fatal.
That D-line earned back the disc.
Look, and just got it. And again, our wonderful volunteers just bringing us some table service here, some snacks and supplies to keep us going. I've just spent a good hour and a half bringing out the water from my belongings and hanging them up to dry. So this is muchly appreciated.
So now we are back in the action as that disc sails over the sideline and goes for a break. So another momentary break in the action.
Which is very good for us. And over on the other field, the Glasgow team being watched closely by the couple of their big fans, and also our bar managers here, who Windmill, Scarecrow and the Goblin. Big shout out to them.
So now we're back in the action. Austria going with a hammer over the top. A risky pass, and there's the big hawk, plenty of float and lots of time. Prax trying to make up the distance and gets there just in time to disrupt Felgic. I thought she had that all day, but so much space being made up by the lengthy pole. So you see here just how much distance he covers. Felgic has it all day.
Go Gadget Arms as well.
Bindis takes the break. You know he wants to send it, and he does. It's arcing blading. Probably going to go out of bounds. Prac does what he can, but is never really close to it. And that's the problem. You live by the Bindis, you die by the Bindis.
Is that a tattoo you've got?
One of the many tattoos I have.
Oh, yeah.
Fun fact, I have the word bong tattooed on me twice.
Bum.
Bong.
Why?
Thought that was relevant timestamp. It's part of a poem I hold very dear. Prac comes through again, showing just how much he loves possession. That hunger, that drive. And Flo looking to move in the opposite direction, but getting a bit too eager. Lackadaisical maybe from Zetala.
Disappointment written all over his face too.
Felgic has it, sends it down the line. You can see Austria trying to focus, trying to collect themselves. This is much better. Playing together, playing for one another, and it's a lovely shot to the end zone.
I didn't mind that at all. A couple of big intercepts and blocks there. Both teams really aggressively attacking that disc and reading it well, but Austria coming away with the point.
I'd like to take a moment to talk about Julia Smyser, 42 for Austria, who was phenomenal during that point. Center of their offense a lot of the time. They're always comfortable when they see her with the disc in hand. It's because she feels very comfortable moving it quickly. She feels like she's always going to get free for you. You see here, lovely link-up play. There she is, catching up with it, getting it going straight away again. She knows if her team settles and stops, they're in trouble, so she just carries on, giving that extra option. Excellent stuff from Smyser, working very well with Dave Hooter in that instance. So 2-2, Flo came very, very close, twice to scoring. So you know they'll want that one back.
Oh, and down on the sideline we do have Herbie, dressed up to the nines.
Well, it is the Cirque du Freak chic year, as here come Flo, thinking about a deep one. Screaming it down there, Sreesville underneath it. That's a phenomenal throw. Milan just turning and uncorking a beautiful shot.
Very quick response there.
Sreesville was just chasing it down. Maybe a two-pass offense.
Blink and you miss it. Here goes Herbie. working the crowd.
We have another look at this beautiful shot from Milan. All the way over. Sruisville down there. She always had yards, but if the throw had arced any more to the right, it would have brought 2 Austrian defenders into play. Excellent stuff by Milan to make sure it goes to the opposite corner.
Right, so now Austria on offense. It's been a while since they've done anything with a lot of ease compared to the Polish side. And a few fresh looking faces out there. Just working it up. Got a poachy here.
So Flo kind of going with a zone, but one that's disguised as man. It focuses a lot on staying close to people. A bit of an FSU. Austria find the gap behind it. And now they're working through it rather quickly. Looking comfortable doing so. Hütter gives it, tries to get it back, but can't connect. And Ernst just threw it a bit too much in front of him. The opportunity for a break. As we see again, Ernst was trying to get hit to Hütter, but just dropped a bit quicker than anyone was expecting it. Jacques. Oh, it bounces off the hands of Anifriv, but he's able to get it to anyway.
Oh, and a great interception there.
So Austria working it back. Hütter in front of the end zone. Goes for a very difficult break and pulls it off. That was a thing of absolute beauty. I believe it was to Mesner in the end. The splits flick dropping down low. Tying this game up 3-3. So it's been tight so far. Turns on both sides.
See why they're 8-9.
Brilliant interception by Mesner. And then Hütter says, you know what, you're going to put that much effort in defensively. Allow me to put all the effort in offensively. Look at that throw. Magical.
Snatched it out of the air there with the left hand.
So, 3-3. Flo, to me, have looked slightly more dangerous than Austria. But Austria did break to open the game, a statement of intent. 23 minutes gone, so just over half an hour left. Not that much time at all. People thought 70 minutes was short for a game, and they've only gone and shortened it again. Over there 90 at these Windmill affairs as we see Flo working through this zone, looking to get something going. Taking their time, not too forced. Berlinski sends it all the way back. Urbanik into the middle. Flo seems a bit more relaxed against this zone right now. Urbanik coming back to get it. Yes, Beshia tries to get it to him. Lots of faking, lots of effort, eventually does.
Oh, very tight pressure here from Austria.
Special goes with a huge blade. It was always going to be a difficult shot. I mean, Sruisville is a fantastic receiver, but even that asks a bit much of her.
Store count was definitely getting up there too. So zone working well for Austria on D.
So we see Flo Kane, brother of Benjamin Kane, who's injured on the sideline right now. He gets it all the way down. That's the kind of space that Austria's system can get for them when it's working well, and it looked to work. Oh, perfectly until it's disrupted. Brilliant stuff by Special. There's a travel called.
Quite a while ago.
That is unfortunate. What a play by Special. I thought that was just a prime example of Austria doing everything right. With Special showing. And even then, you can be proven wrong. Let's have another look at it. What a defensive play. I I think you could even go as far as to say as that was a little something special. I'm sure that isn't how your name is pronounced.
Well, pronounced.
Pronounced?
It's not pronounced like
No,
that.
but I think few things are.
So there was a bit of an issue here with the travel call because after they lost possession, then there was a bit of retraction, then there was, no, you can't retract it now, people had stopped, but the turn will stand, and now...
That's very fair-minded of the Austrian side. They could have insisted, they could have stood on occasion, but this time acquiescing to Flo's wishes. So now Flo looking to make their own dreams come true. They've got a lot of space behind the wings. They've got Miko sitting there. Instead, they're just going to keep passing it around each other. That one was dangerously close. Special had to reach out and snatch it.
Risky business.
Trying to get something, but right now not gaining any distance, not even attacking the space. Now they start to, but it's well read. Two Austrian defenders were converging on the spot. Now Austria look to hit back quickly. Can't quite get there. Good panic defense by Flo.
Yeah, great pressure on the mark.
This has been very impressive, and all of a sudden it's Austria who are in trouble. Absolutely magnificent defense from Flo. And they look to get going before the zone can be set up properly. This is going to be a battle, chasing it down all the time, and never in doubt, Natalia Nedzi takes the score down.
She's an impressive player.
What about the faith in their receiver? Misek Krotlinski sees it, doesn't even hesitate, knows if they set up this zone, we are in trouble. We got to hit him quick. And Nedzi, well, I mean, when you need someone quick, that's a hell of a person to be able to rely on. So here we see the shot go up. Sprinting the whole time. Kane's right behind her, gaining on her with each step, but left too much space. Here's another look. Urbanik sets it up, gets it down the line to Krotlinski, and he just zips one. Oh, you've given her that much space. That's what we in Poland call a mistake. So Flo with a big score, 4-3. That is an offensive hold. They did start the game on offense. A distinct advantage when there's only 55 minutes in a match. You do not have that much time to get the break back, which is the benefit for the defensive side. As now Austria look to come back at them.
Again, with that person poaching in the wings.
Trying to put on that pressure with the lengthy bodies that they love putting in their cup. Long interfering arms. Taunting you, go, take that open pass to the sideline, please. It's right there. It's Austria. Getting a little bit physical. Looking for the break. Forced to go over the top, not an easy catch. Taken down. Still struggling. Still prodding, poking, searching. Sends it into the middle.
Losing ground again.
Well, they go back. They are just swinging it back and forth, waiting for something to happen. Nothing really materializing. Over there, Hutter goes for a pass over the top. It's risky. Two players come through, Prak and Bindas. But it would appear that Weibel believes he was fouled, uncontested. Very fair-minded. We have a look at it there. Not the best pass. You can see Prak admitting it, got the wrist, didn't really get the disc.
Yeah, so now just working out whether he had enough control to be in possession, which I think he was. Yeah.
Forced to go backwards again as the Austrians continue to look for a way through. Ernst centers it to the middle. Ernst gets it around. This is better. Austria starting to gain some ground in this. Vivits are working well with her. It starts over the top. That's comfortably done, and there. We've seen this connection before for a point. This one, equally impressive. That time it was more the grab than the throw. But a connection that is becoming more and more apparent as an important one for them. Hutter. putting the disc up. Mesner taking it down. We're going to have another look at it here. That's the beautiful hammer over the top. There's Mesner, pop and go. Before Flo have a chance to set back up. Luther says, well, if you thought the flick was cool.
What a grab.
I believe it was Zakowska who's coming across, trying to help with the defensive pressure. It didn't work out for her. So 4-4. And quite the battle, El.
That's right, I like it. Nice close game here. I think we would expect the teams just to keep trading points at this stage. I can't tell. As I would have said initially, Flo had a little bit more spark. But this Austria side have come out fighting and they're reading that disc beautifully. So the disc will go up.
Flo will come back down. After this, it's going to be a brick. A lot of bricks.
A lot of bricks. You can build a house.
We'll see just how well these two sides can do. Building their campaign for Windmill gold. You have to say at moments like this, the algorithm really is quite impressive. At this point in the tournament, just coughing up teams 8th and 9th next to each other. It's supposed to be this tight. It's delivered exactly that. Arcing blade all the way over the top. Wonderful stuff by Flo as they look to get going, wasting no time. Keeps entering it, moving it across. Banik not quite free enough, so Mikos back into middle. Zuderna. Mikos. Back to Zuderna. He swings around to Milan. Flo not forcing anything, but happy to fake it. That one over the top. Lots of Austrians underneath.
Oh, nice take.
Even to the challenge. Mikos with the disc again. Not attacking behind the cup. Content to just keep going around it. Occasionally over it. That was nice again. Milan, we know he's got some big throws in his arsenal. Thinks about sending a scuba to Mikos, decides against it. Grodlinski, beautiful throw, an excellent collection, in no way easy, but Brzezinska has shown time and again that she's equal to those kinds of challenges.
Gee, that was a great catch. And especially on this hard surface of the AstroTurf. Just committing.
Fantastic flow. We're really starting to see these teams zero in on their potential. Both have had really comfortable looking offensive plays. See Milan. This is where the magic starts to happen. He's not afraid of too many throws. Grodlinska sends it. And it was a difficult low one for Brzezinska. I'm sure I'm saying wrong. I'm very sorry for it. That's two big catches she's had.
Yeah.
That's something Flo really bring to the table. They are a very athletic team. Great disc skills when it comes to catching. Have struggled somewhat in the throwing, aren't the most expansive team, don't have too many hookers. But they've got plenty of receivers. Spirit of Windmill, and there's the turn. Right on the end zone line. Lots of people were chanting for Austria, but now Binda's looking to tie this one up. Will he go for a break? He does, and Pratt collects. So, 6-4 and a big score. That is a fantastic young player for Wroclaw. So they just take their time and set up the ISO. So unfortunate for Austria, but you still have to punch it in. You still have to capitalize. You must punish. They tried to trap right in the front. Pratt just takes the space he's given. Bindis hits it straight away. You see the Austrians, they tried to set up, tried to clamp down a little bit. Left an open channel.
So the furthest gap we've had 2-point difference.
That's true, actually. So Flow, again, the ones building it up. Starting off this game, they conceded a break. They haven't been down since. Now, press their advantage. 20 minutes left. You blink and you would miss these games. Austria, hoping they can stare their future down in the face. Again, the system breaking down ever so slightly. Bindus forces them to the short corner. Austria really struggling. Flow are up for it. Every one of their defenders is high, is active. Prack screaming in, tries to get the Callahan. Not there in time, but desperately close. Let's see how desperate this makes Austria. Still trusting, still making the right calls. Excellent cutting downfield. This is much better. Stozen tries to get that one down. It's close, but it works out. And there's the shot. It might be too far ahead, and it is. Considerably so. Do you think that might be a symptom of frustration?
Yeah, nothing moving downfield at all.
Schmeisser. So good earlier in this game. That time maybe taking on a bit too much. Now, once more, the Austrian O-line is forced to play defense. Bajak. I don't know about you, but I really like the one sleeve, a different color design of Flow. I don't like it in a lot of jerseys, but it's like the only thing about that jersey that's different, so it seems cool. Oh, huge block coming in. They thought they had time to get it, but they didn't. Brilliant stuff. Prack maybe getting a bit too confident, which you can never be. Felgich stealing in and then tearing away. Fantastic stuff, and the exact kind of play the Austrians needed to galvanize themselves. So he needs to be consoled by his teammates. Be irritated at losing out on that one. There was a real chance to put this game away. Adorning the stadium around us. Everybody's clothes drying off. Felgich, not afraid to get dirty herself. Huge block. And immediately attacking the end zone. Fantastic stuff. 6-5, so Austria trying to fight their way back in.
All right, there the crowd. Dwindled in numbers now. People have actually got games on from the earlier session. But the Austrian Open team just played here previously, so you brought your own fan club.
Fan club ready-made. Low with the shorter games, less time to rest in between. 55 minutes is the last round of Swiss draw. The quarterfinals and semifinals still to come today, and then hopefully a resumption of our regularly scheduled programming tomorrow. As we see Flow, the team currently battling to get their way into the top 8. Seedings as they stand. Starting in 7th, Smog. Over on the opposite pitch, then it's Austria in 8th, Flow in 9th. Making this about as close to a game 4 quarterfinals as you can get in the Swiss draw. And then Glasgow, again on the opposite pitch, who are in 10th. We need a big win over Smog. Check out our other stream on YouTube. I believe it is Sean and Sarah doing the commentary on that one?
I think so. Remember
Sean Colford and Sarah Sparks. Veterans of the British ultimate scene, so well acquainted with both Glasgow and Smog. Quite the battle of a domestic rivalry, or domestic for now, we'll see. Scottish independence would make that an international rivalry. Just the little things you don't really think about with the political changes that happen throughout Europe. So now we see Austria and Poland. Old historic enemies doing battle here on the fields of the Netherlands. Flow. Their O-line back on after a fairly impressive run by their D-line.
Both players having a tumble there. Just trying to work out who the one that stepped into the other.
Just have a a little look here. Flo Kane asserting I was there first. Stepped into me. It did kind of look like that to me.
Yeah, it did.
We know Kratlinski's a very aggressive pivoter. Loves getting his breaks like that. Coming in on 0, so Kane seems to have capitulated. It's now Flo looking for it, going for the big arcing one around. Austrian defense in wait, but not there in time. Flo don't capitalize. Streisville, very difficult person to shake. As they send that one down the line beautifully. Special running onto it and tries to get to the end zone, but it's always going too short. That was always needed to be something special. Wasn't quite. As there, that disc floats up high. Excellent body positioning from Flo and its team defense against that turn. Coming in the opposite direction. Trying to push out this lead, trying to book a place in the quarterfinals. Goes the big arcing pass to Milan. Has time to wait for it as Austria set up their zone again. And there's the timeout call. I like that. In this 55-minute game, there's about 13 minutes left. Burn some time off that clock, collect your thoughts. This is a big point for both teams. So, well, coming out of this, you've kind of been inching towards Flo for the majority of the game. Do you think Austria can fight their way back in? Have we seen enough?
I don't know. I think they can.
I definitely think they've turned it more.
I also suspect that Flo has got another gear they can go into if they need.
Really? What
Yeah.
gives you that kind of an inclination?
Just every now and again, I feel they're just showing off like their true potential.
So I would call those flashes of brilliance that deviate from the norm for them. Like every now and again they do pull off something absolutely spectacular. But I think that's because they're all athletic, so that side of it is always a possibility. It's just getting the brilliant throws to match it, not so much. Well, if you take Bindus's hammer, for example, that was a phenomenal throw. But then he went for an equally ambitious blade later on, and it was not phenomenal, shall we say. So they are almost like a sword with no hilt. Whereas Austria, for me, they clearly have a system, but have turned it more, haven't looked as comfortable, looked a bit shakier. They really are struggling to get free from Flo. Though I do think they are a bit more competent in terms of disc skills. So I would still put the edge with Flo, given this lead, but Austria can turn it all around right now. And they are certainly fighting as hard as they can to do so.
Nice deep long option down there. Waiting to be marked up. Having a good laugh with their opponent.
I wouldn't mind seeing them go for it, you know?
Yeah.
We've seen Streisville take down a similar enough shot when she was underestimated earlier on. That's another beautiful around flick all the way over the top. They really like doing that to get out of trouble with the cup. Active cup following people. Tireless defensive effort across the board. I think Bess Uls is nearly killing herself out there, just trying to shut down that open side. Flo gradually creeping, crawling their way along closer and closer. There's the big block, overshooting, overconfident perhaps.
All right, so Austria now with another chance to level the scores.
See what they can do. They've been fighting very hard to get this opportunity. They almost squander it immediately. Deep shots available to side against it. They don't want to go for the double happiness. I wouldn't mind seeing that battle. Instead, going a bit more conservative, working their way down the pitch. Right in front of the end zone. This to tie it up. It's a big moment. Can Austria rise to it? Kane makes a move, can't get free. Continuing to work. Thijs couldn't either. Now they're forced further out of the end zone. Good scramble defense. Brilliant break across. Kane goes for it. All the marbles! And they fall from the table with a disappointing clatter. Brilliant defensive heads-up play by Urbanik. I think that was just a bit too lackadaisical on the part of Austria. Kane going for it, but he just wasn't able Getting biblical, because that's a beautiful shot all the way through the middle. Rezizinska. We're back. Austria, you can almost feel the tiredness, the fatigue starting to drain from them. There just isn't that same level of intensity to this zone as there was in the previous possession. They're starting to go with slightly riskier passes. Milan was able to get to it all the way across to the opposite sideline. They're right on the door, knocking. Calming themselves down, trying to get it back to special, and they do. Now Kratlinski goes for the shot, huge grab! Somehow she keeps it up. And it is agreed to by a lot of the Austrian players.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal stuff. And that's the athleticism we're talking about. That kind of capability for flow.
Well, with the amount of time left, I feel as though it's just Austria, while showing promise, it's just going to run out of time to
See her
get over
pointing to her spot and then diving. How? I believe it was Streisfeld. How? Just have another look. We'll see if it's caught on this camera. She points. So first off, they get it back to Kratlinski. Somehow caught, kept up. Very well spirited by Austria as well. Huge point. Could have argued the issue very easily, but several Austrians almost immediately agreeing. That one was in. Let it stand. So now Austria still out there in force, taking the knee, listening, trying to support their teammates. Flo ambling their way to the line, going with a slightly different 7 for the D-line. Linda's taking one off. A new Freeve comes on. We haven't seen much of Sergey over the course of this game. So Flo starting to expand their lines a little bit. Very excited to see what Prak can do. Hopefully he's had a fire lit under him since he had that drop 2 points ago that bothered, well, it wasn't dropped, it was deep. It was a fantastic defensive pressure and block by Felgic. Don't want to take that away from her. He did get beaten effectively twice in a row. We know he's a proud young man. Let's see what he can achieve. Huge sprint coming out of Anna Freeve. Down there as quick as he can, as here come Austria. Going with the sweep and clear. Working that underside. This is nice fundamentals. Don't make too much of it once they're past halfway. Looking for a dump, instead forced to go for the break across. Could have called foul, but it was her teammate in there. It's absolutely perfect. Over the shoulder. Thought it was risky, but worked out very well, and that's a confident response by the Austrian O-line. It's just two guys having a good time. Excellent stuff from Austria. 6-7.
All right, we're still a chance now. And we're still in the sweet spot, so we can still have a draw. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct. Still very possible. So, 7-6, Austria looking very confident on that point. Their D-line has struggled to get breaks, hasn't gotten too many. Looking for a way back into this matchup. Let's see if they can refine that intensity that they need to tie this game up one more time. We're really coming into the final few exchanges. 50 minutes left, or 50 minutes on the clock, I should say. 5 minutes left. It was only off by 89%. As here come Flo.
Austria need to get a quick turn and score to have any chance to come away with a draw.
Over the top. Yeah. A draw
Or
would.
even they may be able to get 2 quick points and win, but
If Smog have won on the opposite pitch, which could be possible, then a draw here would potentially see Austria through. That's the thing about Swiss draw though, and there's the critical turn. Milan not able to corral it. It bounces in and around out of his hands. Kane pointing to the end zone. He wants somebody to go. It's a large physical pressure and presence working against them. Kane doing a good job. Huge bid, streaking through. What a play! You can see what it means to her. Brzezinska.
If I could do that, I'd be excited about it too.
I think anyone would be. I can't do it, and I'm still excited. Now Brzezinska getting on the end of that hammer over the top.
She's
Brilliant stuff.
Great game.
She really is. She's been a leader for this team, along with Streisvei. Now they just slow it down a little bit. Special. Urbanik. They're taking their time. Because makes itself available, as does Brzezinska. Not too rushed. Austria have gotten turns that haven't been able to capitalize on them. Flo have done a much better job. Now we see Special. We know he can do a couple of impressive things. Lots of arc on that throw out to the sideline. Milan pops back into Special. There's Sauzderna. Special. Milan goes deep, decides against it, understandably so, and then they go for the second, asking just a straight up 50-50. I can see why you would if Streisvei is your player on the other end, though.
Not the best throw option there, hopefully. Yeah, maybe that's what you're talking about, a bit of inconsistencies, even though they've got incredible skills. It's just a little bit of lack of finesse perhaps there on that throw. Austria now trying to make something go their way. Nice long pass deep. Close to the front of the end zone. Oh, well done. Now it's back to level scores, 7 apiece.
That is a huge moment and a huge score for Austria, fighting their way back into this matchup and tying the game up with only 3 minutes left to go. That's, given the length of these points, could very well be the last point of the game.
Would you like to call it Universe Point and Galaxy Point as well, given the scores are 7-7?
It potentially could be. It would indicate a half.
The Galaxverse.
It was a lovely come under play. Great realization. We've come to expect that. Miha Pak has had quite a strong game. It's great setup. So much focus. So much heart, so much drive. Again, Schmoka. I believe that's how you pronounce it now. Almost certainly wrong.
I'm impressed you know what all that is.
Thank you, Al. So that's the thing. If your assumptions about people set the bar very low, that makes it easy for me to meet it. That's why I am the way I am. So now Bindus with the disc, the middle of the pitch. Austria going with that zone on this critical point. Figure of Kane, notably absent, generally at the front of it. Maybe swapping him out and looking for a bit more offensive power. This Floor just taking their time. That one was a little risky, but works out just about. Bindus on the O-line. And he was normally on the D-line, so line's getting mixed up here. Prague has kind of been pulling double duty. Thinks about the hammer, decides against it. Bindus hops through. And this is the thing. Flo have time and have space for the reset. It's will they risk anything more than that? Pajak with the disc in hand. Goes to pop it over the top. Prague is right on the edge now. Has several people around him. Zakowska to one end. Bindus directly in front. Back to Prague. Looks to pop it through to Milan and does so for the score! Textbook offense. 8-7, and that's half. And there's 30 seconds left.
Just seeing here again, a replay of that. Patience there being shown.
A lot of it was Prague and Bindus just popping it back and forth to each other. And you see there the fake to move the defense out of the way. And then a delicate touch, getting it to Milan for the score. Flo looking good. come Austria. They don't have much time. They need to tie this game up. Will they be able to? All still to play for in the final breaths of this match. They go for a huge shot to the end zone. Always going too quickly. Just escapes the clutches of the intended receiver, Felix Mesner. So now, we see Nikos walking to the disc. And this would seal it for Flo. 8-7 up. They'd love a 9-7 finish.
Oh no, and I'd love a Callahan. But you can't always get what you want, obviously.
Not in this life, but maybe in the next. Milan trying to find
just a bit argy-bargy on the way through.
a bit. Just a smidge.
We can hear it up here.
Maybe popping his shoulder out. Of course not intentional, just coming across. Maybe Ernst was a bit too earnest.
Good one.
Thank you. I'm proud of that one because it involved 2 languages, kind of. Streisfield swings it back into the middle to Milan. That's a beautiful break to Nikos. Thinks about the huck, has it available, goes to the shot, Robil underneath it.
Oh no.
And so is Streisfield. She's been everywhere for this Flow side all match long. Huge reception after huge reception. Running out of options, they all swarm around her, and eventually she's able to get it off to Sauzderna. Sauzderna, Milan, spreads it out, Nikos. She threw one huck. Streisfield tries to get free for another chance. Milan, we know he's got a break. You can see the poaching off downfield. But in the end, as soon as it disappears, so does Streisfield for the score. And that's 8-7, or 9-7.
Yeah. So it's definitely Poland's game, I would say. Time at some point has had to happen. At the 57-minute mark, so just checking whether our time is correct.
All right, so the time hasn't gone yet. Austria still have the opportunity to call this back as we look once more. You see Nikos just gets it back. Streisfield, he knows he can see her, tries to distract the defense. And she just beats her mark to the front corner. Very impressive stuff.
That's right, two points of difference. No idea how long he's left in the game then. But not long, I would imagine. Got 1 minute left. There you go.
So now here they are.
So potentially Austria could.
Potentially, but they'll need to do it quickly. Schmeisser with a huge break all the way across to the near sideline. Makes it cut down the field, and there goes the jingle, and this could be the point that knocks them out. He wants the deep shot. He thought about it several times, decides against it. Instead gives it to Anu Friv. Gets it back. Now Bindis. Back on the D-line, Bajak. He really wants to crank one. Eventually he does. Prax on the other end. And scores! Flow will be moving their way into the quarterfinals with a 10-7 victory over Austria. Barring some crazy things in other seedings, I think they've done exactly what they needed to do.
And a well-earned win that they can celebrate. High fives all around for them. And good effort by Austria there. Just a few unforced errors. And great interception by the Flow players on D. Making the difference there. Coming up next on this field, I believe we have Open Austria versus Italy. But maybe not.
Have one last look, final play. You can see all that Jacques wanted to do was send it, even the other time. And that time he did. Tuprach for the score, great showing up for the Polish. We'll see them in the quarterfinals and see just how much further they can take it. I've been Lorcan Murray.
And I'm El Jack.
See you next time.